Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.
Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today we're gonna go over Mystique in MCOC. I asked I did ask. I asked you guys what you wanted to know about how I do these little mashups, but I don't know if I want to call them mashups because Cat Murdoch is using mashups, so I got to think of another name. I don't know. We'll figure it out between now and putting the video up. Okay, MCOC Fusion, huh? Figured it out right away, just looking up synonyms for mashup. It worked out. Or combine. I think I looked up combine. Let our champions combine. Before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to all the dorky diggity goodness on the channel. And if you want to see more, click on that notification button. Now enjoy the video. So we have Mystique here, which is based on Invisible Woman. So if I were to just kind of grab all the stuff I worked with here and drop it into a folder, so I'm selecting them all, holding shift and clicking the folder to drop them all in the folder. So we'll call this like the working folder. I don't know, it's not a great name. I don't know, I haven't made a tutorial and stuff like this for a while, Photoshop, stuff like that. But anyway, so just to give you an idea, this is where it came from, right? So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, or a lot of it. And so as you can see, we got a pretty good base, and she already had this thing on the neck here, this kind of blue, which is actually what kind of gave me the idea. I was like, man, I don't really have to do much, which I actually still had to do much. But so here we are. As you can see already, we already kind of have like a difference in the face here, the whole face area. And that is from my best friend, the Liquify tool. So I'm gonna jump in here. And I'm gonna duplicate this layer just so I can show you what that looked like. What does it look like? Absolutely nothing. Okay, never mind. So if I click on this layer and I go up to filters, it's right here, Liquify. A lot of people don't even look at this. They're just like, well, it's not part of like the main filter set over here. But Liquify is actually pretty dope. So, and open up a window over here on this side. Let me drop it here so you can get a better look. So what you're able to do is you're able to manipulate very specific areas based on your the center point of this paintbrush right here. So I can take a nose and move it around and change shape. Yeah, this is how they do it in the magazines. If I want to maybe change her demeanor a little bit, like, hey, she's looking a little too mean right there. You know, I don't want to talk to her. You know, or you could raise it up and now she's even nicer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, or you can make her more sinister and be like, yes, what's up? Whatever. Anyway, that's the whole point, right? So we're gonna escape out of that. That's what we did. We changed it slightly just so there was just enough of a difference between Mystique and Invisible Woman right there. Bam. Okay, there it is. The other thing that we did was there's a difference in changing down here, you know, making her a mutant, all that good stuff. You can see that is a layer right here to put the persistent filter. So that's really just grabbing a different champion here. Let's disable that so you can see. That was Bishop. So we just we put on something called a mask. Some of you know what that is, some of you don't. That's this button right down here. And what you're able to do is, instead of using the eraser, you can remove different parts of that layer by choosing either black or white or whatever's in between. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Actually, let me just show you an example of that, just in case you're just like, no, this wasn't good enough. Okay, here you go. So I'm gonna take my paintbrush, right? Here's the paintbrush. Let's get rid of that bottom layer, and I'm gonna color black, which is basically erasing, so you have a white background here. If I'm like, you know what, I made a mistake, I really don't want to do that, I want to kind of refine it, you can go back and switch the colors to black, to white, sorry, to refill. So black to remove, white to refill. And the shortcut key is X. Boom, you can switch between the two. All right, anyway, that's back on. There we go, we are good to go. Okay, so we have that persistent filter down there. We've got some text right there to fill in our Mystique. And blue skin right there, bam. So I kind of kept part of her uniform down here because I liked that kind of scaly look to kind of give that old school vibe from the first X-Men films. But I also added some pattern to the skin itself, and I used a mode. So here on the linear light, you have these different colors, different modes here. So using linear light basically takes the blue color that I used. I'll come up here. It's very base kind of blue, but when you use linear light, it takes the underlying colors and it blends them together. And if there's like a 50% or lighter gray tone or color tone, it's going to take that and make it brighter. And if there are tones that are 50% and darker, it's going to take your top color and it's going to make them darker anyway, it's kind of like an easier way to explain that. So lighter gets lighter, darker gets darker, and it kind of takes your color. I know there's people that can explain that better, but don't worry. Lighter for lighter, darker for darker. Okay, so I was able to color in. It's just taking the paintbrush with that base blue color, and of course you see here I've got that mask, so I can go back and refine. As you can see, take some black and remove, or white to put back. The other thing that I've done here is I have a softer brush, just to make sure it's not just super hard lines unless I want them to be. Makes it a little bit easier to blend the colors. And we have a pattern overlay. Now the pattern overlay, as you can see here, is it's a very light texture, as you can see here, because I wanted to match kind of like the texture going down here and over here. So it gives it a little bit of a realistic feel, or a tangible feel to it. Okay, so if you have questions on that, just put that in the comments down below. Okay, over here, lips. I took some more blue just to kind of darken it a little bit. I felt they were a little bit too light. And one thing I didn't add to the final piece was the lipstick. I don't know, it felt a little weird. Some of you might like it, some of you don't. I don't know. You tell me, you let me know. So we have this white dress here, which I basically just kind of drew in. You can see some outlines there, but I took the white color. It's more than one layer, so it's inside of this folder. But the main thing is this guy right here, to try to get like that, to sell that, the neck part of that white dress. There aren't any filters or anything on this, but we did use the blending options here, where we allow the underlying layer to shine through. Now, to be able to split these, you want to hold the Alt key so that you can split the blender here. Otherwise, it's just a hard blend, you know, like this, and then it'll just go through that way. But if you hold Alt and you split it up, you can get some depth in there. Okay. So that's good to go. And over here, this was just the shoulder. We just kind of colored over that. We didn't really need much blending there, so that's just pure white. And then over here, I drew in some dress outline to kind of sell the depth a little bit. So it's literally just drawing in some black and then bringing down the opacity down to 38%. Boom, and then over here we have a Red Skull. So we have Red Skull here. Took a screenshot and brought him in the fray. If I disable the mask, boom, that's there's his whole head. It was pretty easy. I used the quick selection tool over here, and that's just, you know, depending on how big you make your brush. So that's open and close brackets to make it bigger or smaller, and you can select different parts, and it's actually pretty smart. So that was easy enough, boom. And then you can go back and remove parts by holding Alt to minus out the parts you don't want, boom. And add in the parts you do. So, and then of course you turn on your masker just by clicking the mask off the selection, and bam, that's how you do that. So anyway, I made a copy because I always make a copy just in case something goes wrong or goes awry. We put that guy over here. All the way over here, the Red Skull. And basically to do that color change, it didn't take much. It's just a desaturation. So that would be just going up here, going to adjustments, hue saturation, and bringing the saturation down. Bam. The other part is to get him to look that shiny. Oops. Let's move that. To get him to look so shiny, we want to use something called levels. So that is Control L or Option L or Command L or whatever system you're using. L. So this helps me to target the midtones, lights. So we get a nice, bring the darks in, and then we bring the lights out. Bam. And then we drop them up at the top. Anyway, that's that. Let's bring them back. Boom. All right, and next we've got our eyes here, and this one is pretty cut and dry. It's just yellow. It's just yellow painted. Bam, 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 bam. All good to go. And then you see we have our Mystique in the house. Used to be Invisible Woman. Now it's Mystique. Oh shoot, I forgot the hair. Here's the hair. So the red hair is basically, let's turn this mode off. It's on linear burn right now. So it's kind of like an orangish kind of hair. So what I wanted to do is to be able to get a rich red, reddish color without going too dark. So the cool thing about linear burn is that it takes your base color and kind of multiplies it to the bottom color. So you're going to get like a really rich orange. So all the darks of her original color tones of her blonde are going to shine through that orange, as well as having orange. It's kind of think about it like orange times yellow equals like red. Not plus, but just kind of times, if you were to multiply. But however, it doesn't take the light aspect of the colors. So as you can see, if I go to like color burn, it does something very similar where it kind of takes the darks, but also takes the lights as well. So you can see that kind of shining through. Multiply will just multiply it over that yellow, but it's not going to give me the depth that I want, because it doesn't take that that contrast. A lot of times what people do when they run through modes is they're just like, all right, I'm just gonna put something and then I'm just gonna go like this until I see what I like. And that's cool too. You don't have to know what each one is, because trying to explain these is not always easy. Anyway, linear burn was for the hair. Moving on. Anyway, if you liked the video, and I hope that you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment. And if you do leave a comment, let me know what character you'd like to see next. I do have a whole list of characters coming up, mashing up different parts of different characters and champions. I'm going to do breakdowns on the other ones. If you do like this, do let me know that. So I give you content that you like. I figured it'd be just something a little bit different from the stuff that we've been doing. But anyway, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Oh, Potamus.
Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.